It's the 26th anniversary of Pokemon, and to celebrate, my friend has let me borrow his Build-A-Bear Pokemon Eevee all evolutions, well, except some of the newer ones, but the majority of the evolutions, so I can go over one with you, let me know which one's my favorite, and rank them, so let's go. Alright, so starting off again, I'm an OG Pokemon guy, so I'm going to start off with kind of the Eevee, then go with some of the basic evolutions, then some of the newer ones, and of course the newest one. So here we have Eevee in the full outfit, looking like some PJs. Obviously, we got Eevee, and you know I could take some of this off, but I'm not going to since these aren't mine. But I have to say, you know, I'm not old, but you know, back then Build-A-Bear was only for bears. They didn't have all these kind of special edition things, but I have to say, the detail, even the nose, everything. It's like I have Eevee right here with me. Oh, look at the little tail. I think maybe the tail is just a little bit too, is it too yellow? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I know it's kind of hard because it's, you know, more, you know, fabric, but maybe the tail is just a smidge too yellow. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But I'm liking this overall. So fluffy. Oh, and then there's a little Build-A-Bear on the paw, which is always nice. Some of the paws, you can see all that little padding on there. But this one's Eevee. And of course you have the little cape, and it has all the different evolutions on there with its, you know, kind of faux fur on the border. It's so cute and so fluffy. So there's Eevee. And next up, let's go over with Vaporeon. So here we have Vaporeon. You know, Vaporeon, I feel like compared to Eevee here, his or her face is got RBF. Got RBF. Yes, got RBF. This one I really think is unique just for the fact that, you know, with not that Eevee's basic, but she is the normal type Pokemon, and with this one, given Vaporeon is the water type and it has more of a fish feel to it, I really like that they put a lot more detail, and you can actually, you know, grab a hold of a tail and it's all in there. Again, here's the Build-A-Bear, which is in blue and white. The padding. Surprised there's no padding on the first ones. But I do like the kind of Pokeball type cape that we have going on, and these obviously little swirls, when you mix them together, it makes it look like it has little waves, which is really nice. This is kind of what the inside looks like. It's a bunch of Pokeballs for the pajamas or the coverings. But I like Vaporeon. I like Vaporeon overall. As far as feel, it's squishy and plush too, so there's that. This one's Vaporeon. And next up, let's look at Jolteon. Alright, so here's Jolteon. And, you know, this is kind of the same thing with the skateboards. It's kind of hard, I feel like, with some of these Pokemon to kind of fully capture the type that they are unless you know them. But if I was just looking at this, I really couldn't tell you. Oh, I didn't know. What? I know they did that. They made sound effects? Something they're saying jar, 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 jar. Well, I didn't know they did that. That's cool. That's freaking awesome. But back to what I was saying before I was surprised by that. I just, you know, okay, so the cape, for instance, the cape has thunderbolts on it. Obviously, he's electric type, so he's going to have some accents on it. So the PJs are just going to be basic Pokeballs, just like on Vaporeon. But, you know, we've got some thunderbolts on here, so obviously know that. But overall, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with Jolteon, so I know what he's supposed to look like. But I just don't think this Build-A-Bear captures that. And obviously, from when he's, you know, been traveled around in, you know, he doesn't kind of hold up well, but it's just kind of, you know, this is obviously supposed to be kind of popped out a little bit more, but just not really feeling this design. And I'm like, what is this supposed to be? What is this? What is this? You know, this looks more like a sun than anything else. The booty. That's what it looks like as far as his paw as I was pressing. So it's more of, again, stuff that doesn't kind of go with that. They should have done this yellow and white. I know they went with red, and they're trying to make some type of, you know, bolt flame fire thing, but that's not for him. But that's Jolteon. So far, my least favorite Build-A-Bear plush. All right, next up we have Flareon. This one's probably my favorite so far. A little string hanging out over there. But this is probably my favorite one so far. I think this one does a good job capturing, you know, the character. I think the cape matches really well. It's obviously flames and different color scheme. His PJs, of course, the Pokeballs. But I mean, the colors look. His paws, of course, are red and white. I wonder who did the sound effects for that. That's crazy. But looking at him overall, I think, you know, this is probably one that just kind of goes together better as far as the flames go and the color scheme. I mean, obviously, it's like I was saying before, it's kind of hard, I think, to capture what the Pokemon is supposed to look like. Obviously, with the board, it's easy because it's flat, but this is obviously three-dimensional. So in some ways, it's kind of hard to capture and exactly tell a story of what this is. And I mean, obviously, we're going to love it and cherish it anyways because we're more familiar with who they are. But I think it's kind of hard to tell overall. But I mean, I think compared to, you know what, actually I take that back. I think Vaporeon is probably my favorite one so far. Actually looking more at this, I think, again, this is kind of hard to tell what it is. I mean, obviously, you know it's supposed to be a flame, but, you know, if you were not familiar with the character, you wouldn't really know what it is too much. So I think so far, Jolteon is probably my least favorite, then it'd be Flareon, Vaporeon, then Eevee. All right, next up, let's move over to Umbreon and Espeon. All right, this is Umbreon. I love Umbreon, and this one feels heftier than the other ones, I have to say. He's, of course, plush, but I mean, compared to the size of the other ones, I feel like this one's got some, you know, heft to it. He's a little bit chunkier than the rest. What does his noise sound like? Oh, it says his name. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So this one, it's, you know, he's a dark type Pokemon, so I don't really know what they could have really done other than maybe, I think it was a missed opportunity. They could have done maybe some moons or something like that, more like the skateboard showed. But I think overall I like this. Yeah, see, his pajamas make more sense. I think that if they did more of these kind of circle, kind of dark ring types, I mean, they could be mistaken for Espeon's psychic waves, but I think if they'd done that more on the cape as far as the dine, it would have been a little better. But I do like the overall look of Umbreon. I think I mean, he's pretty simple as far as look goes. There's not too much to him other than his gold rings and his eyes. But I think the scheme with the purple and everything just kind of goes with it and kind of adds more flair. But yeah, that's Umbreon. All right. Next up, we have Espeon. Now, this, of course, is the psychic type Pokemon. And what's interesting about this one is, you know, I'm going to keep bringing this up, but here, I'm going to take his little hat off just to kind of give it so you can see more of it. But he's got these kind of little ear hair, whisker things coming out right here. It's just kind of hard to kind of capture some of these features of the Pokemon. Obviously, some things turn out good and some things don't, but obviously from afar you can tell that's Espeon. I don't think he looks as good as Vaporeon or Umbreon or even Eevee, but let's see what here she says. Espeon! I will say that I really like the cape on this one. You can see the psychic waves, the kinetic waves, whatever you want to call them, with the Pokeballs. I don't really know what's going on here with his like diamonds with his PJs. Don't know that really works, but definitely digging the cape. I think the cape totally sets it off, but it kind of looks, I know it sounds kind of weird, it looks kind of plain. Looks kind of plain, and I don't really know, I mean, I know this is what's part of his look, but there's really nothing else going on that makes it too special. So, yeah, I'm going to have to put Espeon kind of further on down the list. All right, next up, let's talk about the, you know, newer ones that we have, and of the ones that are left over, it's really going to be Glaceon. All right, so this is Glaceon. He is the ice type, and I think this is one I think that is, I'm all covered up by the mic. Mic 1 2 1 2. I think that this one is one that was translated a little bit better. Obviously, with the faux fur and everything, that kind of translates really well as far as the character personality. I will say that it's a missed opportunity with this designs because they don't really speak to me as far as ice, and that's one of the things I was saying with the skateboard, that the designs on here, not that it needs to be snowflakes, but I mean, this is more diamonds as far as the shape and design, which I guess are going from like a crystallized look. Obviously with these, they're kind of mimicking what's in his ears, but it just doesn't speak to, at least to me, what the Pokemon is overall. Even with this design on the PJs, it doesn't really speak to me and tell me any more personality of the character. So on here it does do a good job with the blue. I think it'd have been better if it wasn't royal blue, but just to kind of stand out, I guess. Clicks, clicks, clicks. But I do think this one translates better as far as overall design, especially with the added features. I don't think, obviously when it comes to other ones on the list, this one isn't going to be the highest on there, but it's going to be pretty far up. Now, as far as the remaining two, Leafeon and Sylveon, they have not yet been released. I believe Leafeon is going to be coming out sometime in March, and then Sylveon later to follow. But those will be the remaining two for the Build-A-Bear as far as the Eevee evolutions go. But as far as my top ones, I would say that Umbreon is probably my number 2. I think Umbreon, while is somewhat pretty basic, I think they did a good job capturing the character overall. I would then say Eevee would be my number 3, and then the remaining ones from there. As far as my top pick for the Eevee Evolution Build-A-Bears, it's going to go to Vaporeon. Vaporeon's going to be my top pick. I think just capturing the character overall, I think they did an awesome job. You obviously can tell instantly that this is a, fish type, water type Pokemon. You can probably get this to kind of stand up a little bit better. Yeah, there he goes. So I think this one does a really good job of kind of just showing you what kind of Pokemon, especially Eevee evolution, it is. And there's not, it tells a story for you. Even without the cape and stuff, I could tell that this is a water type Eevee evolution, but this obviously the accents do really well on it. So that's my rankings as far as that goes in my overview. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Eevee Build-A-Bear evolutions. Of course, you have to collect them all. Gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all. Let me know in the comments what you think is what your favorite one is, what your least favorite one is, and if you're gonna buy them up. And that's it for this video, guys. Make sure to hit that like button. For more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. I'll be covering more Pokemon videos on top of Mortal Kombat 12, Mortal Kombat Movie 2, also tech, gaming, movies, and TV. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.